Well, we have gone through three rounds and we are here with our mole. How are you doing?
My friend and I are doing just fine. Thank you very much, Phil.
Well, I wanted to start actually about that. I don't know if anyone noticed, but you had a task this week. What you want to explain the task that you had?
Yes, I had to have my buddy visible in the background, at least 50% visible, which is difficult in my current environment because I don't have a whole lot going on behind me. So I kind of had to tilt my laptop just a tad like this and put my buddy on the table there behind me. And I kind of put him this way in hopes that nobody, and I don't know if you guys noticed watching the show, I did a lot of this and a lot of movements to distract from my background. So I'm hoping that nobody picked up on it.
Love it. Um, okay, so cash wise, you had a tough week.
It was
What
terrible.
happened?
Well, first of all, I think I made a huge mistake during the long endurance challenge. Obviously, I knew that the exemption was round seven, and I decided to be selfish and take it for myself so nobody else could have it because I want somebody to be open with their answers this week and get, eliminated. And I played it totally wrong. I totally screwed it up. I honestly, in my defense, did have a lot of meetings that morning, and I knew my afternoon wasn't going to clear up until right before the exemption number seven round was. So that was totally legit. But I think Jessica and maybe Brandon, in his silly little way, Brandon might have picked up on that because I suddenly became available, and then 20 minutes later was the exemption round. So I think Jessica picked up on it, and it was poorly done on my part. And then the next challenge the next night was totally, it was transparent. You could not get away with trying to sabotage that event. You couldn't. So I'm like, well, clearly I'm going to have to lay low this week and see. Hopefully, there's something next week where I can come in and steal half the pot or steal all the pot or do something, make a big move because this past week was just not the mole's week for sure.
Another thing that you did was your comments to you leave a message every week for the
I
group.
do.
Explain your choices for that, why and why you made them that way.
I thought it would be too obvious to call myself out. So I chose Brandon because I think he is the one that nobody suspects. And he does have this cute little innocent face. So I thought that was safe. I know a lot of people suspect Jessica. So I thought that was a safe bet. And it's like, shit, who do I pick on for my third one? It's not like you can't be insulting. This isn't Big Brother. This isn't Zingbot, so you have to kind of take her easy. But it's like, how can you call people out without hurting them? Because I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to hurt people, right? And I mean, my first draft of the message, I'm like, erase that whole thing. It was terrible. So, you know, it was hard. It was hard for me because to say negative things about other people kind of goes against the person that I am. So that was hard for me. But I thought I found a way to maybe cast suspicion, maybe, I don't know. So if I have to do the same thing next week, I will definitely call myself out and maybe I'll be a little harsher on myself than I was on other players. Um, I don't know. I'm still trying to navigate how to be split personalities in this game.
Right. Okay. So the sort of a two-part here. So is there anybody that you think is really on to you right now? And is there anybody that is getting in the way of the challenges for you to like somebody that you're finding is really a really good player that's making it a little bit difficult?
All right, I think Jessica is completely on to me. Um, she picked up the huge clue I dropped with taking the exemption on this past week. The person that's really in my way right now is Chell, because he's purposely doing what he can to throw challenges. And he told me he was. Um, he is trying to get all the suspicion on him because he's not the mole. So he wants everyone to think he is. And I'm doing everything I can to promote that in talking to other people, as well as pushing Jessica's name out there and pushing Tiffany's name out there. And I I don't know. I mean, our pool of people is getting smaller, so it's getting harder to hide, right? And I don't have my guy Anthony anymore, and of course Ryan's gone, so it's getting a little bit harder to hide.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's your questions for this week. Good job.